And welcome to American Hammers TV. My name's Wayne. I should laughingly say, and this is for Tim's benefit, your host as always. No, oh, blimey! I've got something going on in the background here that I need to mute. Hold on. Oh, that's better. We've actually got Gaz here on the other end of the line, all the way. Where the hell are you at again, Gaz?
New Mexico, mate.
New Mexico. You're bloody miles away from me, but actually you're pretty close to where I'm at.
Do you even watch the show?
I don't watch the show. I never watch the show, mate. You know that. I only watch playbacks of my pieces. So, of course, before we introduce our esteemed guest tonight, we have to do a shout out to some of our sponsors. A big shout out to drinkwaredesign.com, who do these incredible mugs. Mine's got the old Dallas Hammers logo on it, but Drinkware Design can actually put whatever logo you want on it, or if you want a fish on it, you can put a fish on it. You can pretty much put whatever you want to put on it. It really doesn't make a blind bit of difference. And also a shout out to Strava Craft Coffee, who do the most disgusting coffee ever in the world, but it's got CBD oil in it and stuff, which is supposed to be good, but I don't think it tastes that great, to be quite honest. So I know I shouldn't be slacking off the sponsors like that, should I? Should I? I'm a tea drinker. So I'm more a coffee and whiskey drinker. So, but really more than anything else, let's do a big shout out tonight for our guest all the way the other side of the continent. He's there, way up there in that part of the world that we English actually used to own, didn't we? Didn't we, Gaz?
A little bit, yeah.
So one of by land and two of by sea. The British are coming tonight, and we're there with the Paul Revere of the Boston Hammers. Ryan, how's it going, Ryan, mate?
Not too bad. How are you?
Welcome to the show, mate.
Thank you. Good to be
here. I see you're sneakily showing off behind you. You've got a Mark Noble shirt right there behind you, signed, you bastard.
Yes, I do. Yeah, it's one of two of them.
So
just one of two. No big deal.
Yeah,
just one of two of them. Of course, I've got none at all. Have you, Gaz?
No, actually, I don't really get names on the back of my shirts. I'm very superstitious when it comes to stuff like that. So,
yeah, it looks like that Ryan's got like tons of names on the back of his shirts. So anyway, before we go into that, Ryan, tell us, how long have you been a West Ham supporter?
Well, I used to live in England as a kid. To be honest, when I was a kid, I was more of a glory hunter. My father was American, grew up in Boston, moved to Surrey, actually. And then when I was in Surrey, followed Man U because every kid did. But then it wasn't around until I got into high school that all my neighbors in England were West Ham supporters. So I would keep an eye on them. I moved back to the States. When I came back to the States, eventually started rooting for him. So probably around 98, 2000, around there, when I was in middle school, high school time.
Nice,
so
man.
around like for me, it would be like the Joe Cole to Kenny-O era. So.
Oh, right. Good times.
Oh, yeah.
The very best of times, actually.
Yeah.
So actually, you started watching it then when I actually I stopped watching because I'd come over to the States at that point and I couldn't get to watch anything. So I'm sad. I actually missed most of that era. I missed most of the Canio era. So because I was over here, couldn't catch anything at all. What was it about that era and about West Ham that really brought you to the team?
It was, I don't know, little things. As a kid, I would collect stuff, and I had Kenny-O stuff that randomly I got, and I don't know, it's more of a superstitious thing. I would follow what I got, and specifically, I remember watching the 2001 Man U versus Hammers third round FA Cup draw, and just like kind of the spirit from there. And by 2001 was like that was it from that point onwards. Wasn't just because we beat Man U, but it was just like the style in which, and Kenny-O himself, and I looked up to Joe Cole as a kid because he was literally my age at that point, and kind of put me to shame. I was on like a JV high school team. He was on like West Ham in England. So
yeah, there's a little bit of a difference.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Joe Cole was a great inspirational player to me. I thought it was great when he came back to the club. I thought it was just a brilliant little player.
Oh, it was phenomenal. It was, in fact, I made it to Upton Park in 2014. He was one of the few players I met. I hung around outside, and he was one of the few that stayed for extra autographs and things like that. I mean, my wife talked to him more than I did. I basically just went blank and held out a program. He signed it, and I just kind of stared. My wife chatted him up. But again, he took time for the fans and everything like that. He understood.
So how did you actually make the transition then from Man U to West Ham? Because it's got to be tough to like go from a team that wins pretty much every bloody week to a team that, let's be honest, doesn't hardly win at all.
I couldn't give you. I was more of a, when I was a kid, I thought that was more of the home team. In reality, it was either Crawley Town FC, way down in the lower divisions, or Crystal Palace. But for some reason, my neighbors were Hammers fans, and someone else next to us was Hammers fans. So I thought, as a high school, I'm like, oh, I'll be loyal. And I was, and I've stayed. But then I looked, and I was like, well, it wasn't technically my exact home team. But at that point on, it was too late,
It's funny when you said Crystal Palace, the shot just came up on Gaz's face there.
Not for me, I'm afraid. No, not for me.
I always, what I always remember about going to Palace is the smell of piss. That's for some reason it's like getting out at Selhurst Park there at the train station.
Yep.
It always smell of like old used chip bags, like bags of chips, of like moldy old chips that like somebody had had eaten the night before or something and just thrown into a corner. Or somebody had peed in the corner while they were waiting for like the last train home or something. And
I just found it fascinating on the train as a kid and just thinking it wasn't a Premier League stadium. I never thought it was until I grew up.
Seriously, yeah. So you said you were over there as a kid. Was your dad in the services or something at that time?
No. It was a financial group that went global in the 90s, and they still are. They're still a big financial group, and in fact, one of the guys he hired was a season ticket holder to Upton Park, and is still a close family friend. So he helped influence that as well. He still helps to get tickets when I'm over there. So
now go ahead, Gaz.
No, I was just gonna say that's awesome.
So
you having know the better.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, when did you come back to the States, and what was it like trying to find your legs as far as a supporter over here was concerned and carry that on?
It was 96, late 96, just almost 97. I was in middle school. It was non-existent, really. I'd have to do my best to get my hands on, I would get Match Magazine, I would get Shoot, internet was new-ish. So, you'd use that to the best of your knowledge. You'd get VHS tapes and I had the English VCR, anything just to watch Premier League kind of thing.
Yeah. So the Boston Hammers thing, how long has that been going on up there?
What was it? Technically, it's 2012, I think, if I remember the crest right. I've bin going since 2014, 2015, I think. Talking in 2014, finally made it in 2015. I don't make it as much as I'd like to. I talk to them most of the time, and Paul and Dave and a couple of those guys there, we talk. They usually on Facebook or something like that weekly, but during the season. But I live out in the boonies, so it's and now I have a 1-year-old, so it's I get to choose my week, which one I want to see. This year was the Premier League morning show.
Right.
So that one, I got my son on the starting lineup. Dave introduced them, and then my kid was the baby that was right in front. So
I'll get out of here.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks. Thank you.
No problem, man.
So now, do all three of us have kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
So all three of us know what that's like. Then I'm sure I'm going to get my 7-year-old bouncing in the room any minute now, saying, "Daddy, can I come on TV?" And I'll be like, "Bugger off." So.
Sorry, my kid's he's getting 3 more teeth, including 2 molars right now.
Oh.
I'm expecting the call of grab the binky or the Motrin or whatever.
So now
mine are on their tablets. I told them if they interrupt me at all, that's it. Tablets are over the knee.
Good God, they're great. They're great. Now you've obviously swapped like collecting shirts for kids. So we hear that you've got a bit of a shirt collection, right?
Yeah, it's my wife jokes it's my first love. Always wanted to collect shirts as a kid. And once I got older, used not just like eBay, but like other means in England, like classic football shirts and everything like that to fill in any holes. So I have about 92, 93 season when they were in Division 1 up through today. Haven't missed one. Have a lot of gold kits. Have a lot of game used, autographs, things like that.
How did you get a hold of all of that? Just out of curiosity.
Years of patience and eBay, which you have to be careful with. There's a lot of fakes and things like that can rip you off.
They'll jack the price straight up as well. I was looking the other day on eBay for, like the seats from Upton Park when we moved. Some of them are like £700 or £800. Dollars.
I have.
Oh, did we lose him?
No, he's just walking too quickly.
I have 50 from the store.
Sorry,
no.
No, you're good.
All right, we're good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, no, I had mine from, it was 50 quid if you got it from the store right away.
Oh, man. Was it covered in bird shit, though?
It was. I opened it up and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, they didn't even take time to, but, it was only 50 quid. So I got some Windex and we're good. We're good.
So. Exactly.
See, I would have left the bird shit on it because that's the way I always remember him. Don't you remember him like that, Gaz?
Mine, the way I remember it is just covered in just beer and stuff like that. Well, later on, it was not covered in beer, but beer and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's funny when people talk about what a wonderful stadium, Upton Park was. All I remember is how freaking cold it was and how miserable it was when we were losing.
Yeah.
Terrible. So what's that behind you right now? I see you got a Noble shirt there. What else you have there?
It's, that again, just the pro shop. It was just I got it on sale on their clearance at the end of the season. Mark Noble autograph framed, black away from a couple of years ago.
Nice.
That's this one. I have that one like right here. It's one of my favorite. Is that the one with the navy blue or the sky blue on it?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite shirts.
I like the fact that the whole thing went black all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a nice look.
Speaking of kits, have you? What do you think of the third kit that was revealed today?
To be honest, I wasn't like a huge fan when it first came out. Obviously, I ordered it because I wouldn't ruin that collection. But when I saw it on TV, it didn't look terrible on the pitch. I mean, it wouldn't be my favorite, but it kind of reminded me of the 2015-2016 third kit.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah, had that look to it.
The pink, I was like, what was the deal with that pink? It's like, that for me was just, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to kits. It's got to be claret and blue, light blue or white for me. It just doesn't work unless it is.
I feel kit makers when it comes to the third kit are getting, I mean, in the 90s, they went all out with gray and weird colors. And I think they're just doing it again. It's just one of those coming around. As long as the home and the away are okay, I'm fine. So
yeah. Yeah, I saw the picture the other day of that new Man City third kit, which looks like a rainbow catastrophe.
It's terrible. It's not Huddersfield home. That new one, if you send that with the Paddy Power across the
Paddy Power. That is the most. We had that in our Discord yesterday afternoon. It is probably the most disgusting kit I've ever seen in my life.
It's awful.
It is. It's almost as bad as Newcastle's home shirt.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. So, what would you say is your favorite shirt out of all of your collection that you've got?
Probably the one I wear is probably 93 through 95. The first match I ever watched as a kid was actually Man U versus West Ham, live with my father, and that was when Michael Hughes struck with the 1-1 draw that prevented Man U from winning the title.
Yeah,
so that shirt has a special meaning to me because it was like the first Premier League match I fully watched with my father. It has the West Ham connection.
What a game to go to as well.
Yeah. So it's like that was the kind of shirt I have. Other than that, since then, I had a Don Hutchinson 95-96 that I put up on like a kit bag website as like your favorite shirt, and I got a direct message from Hutchinson. If I send it to ITV, he'd sign it, and he did. And I had ITV that he signed it, and I have that and one more of his game match or game used shirts. So I say like those two probably because he was so nice to me that probably are up there.
What would you say was the one shirt you got that was probably hardest to get hold of?
Looking back, it's probably let's see here. This has been Matt in the 2004 season against Watford.
Yeah,
scored the free kick. That one's up there. Probably either that or the 93-95 goalkeeper alternate shirt, just because I found it on eBay at one point. It was real. Some guy didn't know what he had, to be honest. I think I only got it for like 40 pounds. That was probably the hardest to find because I haven't seen it since. So,
good God. Serious. Now, is there a shirt that's out there right now that you would love to get hold of? Is there like a holy grail of shirts for you?
To be honest, right now, I constantly look kind of thing. It'd probably be right now. I know Classic Football Shirts right now has a match used Steve Lomas when he scored against Man United in 01. If I gain some money or, on the side, I'd probably go after that one. It's stained. It has the matte dirt on it. But right now it's 175. So unless they put that on sale, it's probably going to stay a dream.
So it sounds to me then that the shirts that you're really going after are ones that actually have like a bit of an emotional attachment to games that you've been to then, aren't they?
Yeah, games I've been to, first games I watched, first games that meant a meaning to me. Those are really kind of the things I go after. I'll have others. I have Lucas Perez's goal-scoring shirt from when he scored against Tottenham this year.
Mm-hmm.
I have Robert Green's that he used during one of the Veterans Day matches, autographed. Those are nice, but like they, material-wise, they're awesome. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's nice to have in the collection, but it's like, that match mean something more to me than anything else? No, but yeah.
If you could have one player, any player of your choice that could sign a shirt for you, who would it be?
It would have been Joe Cole. So
for sure.
And I do have his signed shirt, so it kind of felt completed.
Yeah. So you're saying that your wife didn't get his number when she was chatting him up?
So I wish, but
just send him a text.
So she got me a text. He signed a program for me, and then I had his match used against, I believe, Norwich of 2013 that I got on when they do the British Legion's charity auction, usually in like December. I got his for that one. I don't want to even say how much. If it wasn't Joe Cole, I wouldn't have spent the money. So
that's funny. See, I've never been one for getting shirts signed or anything. My mate Adam always busts my chops. I got Nigel Reo-Coker to sign my West Ham shirt because he was playing in the MLS a couple of years ago for Vancouver Whitecaps.
That's not bad.
And they got beaten terribly by the team I was supporting at the time, FC Dallas, and he just walked right past, and my Scottish mate was like, "Come on, mate," he's like, "Come on, he's been a West Ham fan his whole life. Come over and sign the poor kiddie's shirt. Sign his shirt, will you? Sign it, will you?" So he guilted him into walking back over because I think he thought that I was just going to give him a bunch of stick because, I'd been giving him stick the whole match because, he was playing for the other team. But, and he came over and signed it. And then when my mate Adam sees it, he goes, "What?" And he starts like going, he said, "Of all the players, you've got bloody Nigel Reo-Coker on your freaking shirt."
He captained the Hammers in an FA Cup final. So
that's what I said to him. Yeah, but he captained them to a bloody great loss, didn't he? It's like...
It was dramatic. Yeah, I mean, Xhaka could have stopped that ball. I almost wanted him to write that on the shirt, but
oh, I know. Xhaka's a good guy. I met him a few years ago because he was when he played in goal for one of the MLS teams. Seems like a really nice chap.
Yeah, my friends at the shop love him. He comes in every once in a while, gets stuff for his kids, chats up the entire room. So
yeah. Now the Boston Hammers up there, that group is really spread out all over the place, right?
They are. The few times I've been to the Banshee where they usually join up, it's everyone from like past where I am. I'm like an hour and a half out to people down the street. It really depends the match, the day, the time. Sometimes you get a big group. Sometimes you won't. Sometimes it'll just be Paul, David and myself. Sometimes it'll be just Paul and David. The Banshee splits between the Hammers. They have a Chelsea group that comes in there, and that's due to, you know, recent events. It's very popular with a lot of the Boston fans. So really depends the day. Sometimes you'll have a big group. We had a great group at the Premier League morning show where we had almost the whole gang. But yeah, it's really spread out. Massachusetts is not, I mean, it's no Texas or New Mexico, but it's more spread out than people think it is.
Yeah. It's funny because I know that Tim was kind of chuckling. He's like, there's him and Lee. They're up in your neck of the woods. He says, and who do I have interviewing the guy from the Boston area? He says, I've got two freaking Englishmen up there going to be interviewing the guy from Boston. So.
That's totally fine.
So we should have worn our red coats, shouldn't we, Gaz? At least Gaz is drinking a cup of tea.
No, I finished it. It took so long for us to get on. It's gone.
At least it's I used to be I'm a teacher now, but I used to be a park ranger at Lexington and Concord. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I used to have Americans that would dress up like redcoats all the time.
Oh my God.
So what do you teach?
I teach U.S. history, government, and film.
Oh, that's sweet, man.
So
that's good.
And
I see you. I can see Gaz is looking over there at the screen. Are you checking in on the chat room, Gaz? Who do we have in the chat room tonight?
I was actually looking at my dog who's licking his paws to death on my bed, but I definitely can go that for you.
It's about that time where we usually check in the chat room and see who we've got out there.
Yeah, so Ken McGuire is in here. Hello, Ken. Gabe's in here. What's up, Gabe? There was, I saw somebody down here earlier, PJ. He asked, he said, Ryan, is your son going to be repping West Ham?
I've been really pushing it, and he's already got 3 kids. I got
already got 3?
Yeah,
well, I mean, you do collect them, so he should have, right?
Kid from 93, 95. He wore it to the Premier League show. I think my wife will kill me if I get any more yet, though. So.
Oh, this is actually really funny as well. Pierre's in the chat as well, and he said, "Hey Gaz, can you ask him if there was any kit he could collect from any player? Who would it be?" But I'm pretty sure I already asked a similar question to that with the signing. Would it be Joe Cole?
Joe Cole, yeah.
Joe Cole. So when I said I was superstitious about getting names on my shirt, the last player whose name I got on the shirt was in fact Joe Cole, and then Roman Abramovich came along and we sold him. So I stopped doing it after that.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. I had the same thing going as well. I had Scotty Parker's name on my shirt, and of course we got relegated, and he went off to Tottenham, which broke my heart. And I actually a couple of years ago I got Antonio's name on my shirt, and you know, I think I've broken the curse now because I've had that shirt now for a couple of years now, so I'm all right.
I did Ivanovic last year, and ever since then I would always keep Ivanovic and then Noble. I'm just sticking to Noble this year. Just
yeah. See, I thought I'd broken the curse for me, but when we moved to New Mexico, the dog that I showed you off air, Dimmy, he's a Yorkie Shih Tzu Poodle mixture. I named him Dimmy after Dimitri Payet because, you know, Dimitri Payet was the shit. And, well, there's that.
There you go.
So now he's left and I'm stuck with this ugly-ass dog. But anyway, back to the chat. Tim's in here. What's up, Tim? Mr. Owner.
Mr. Owner. Hey, Tim, are we doing all right?
Mate, I think so. Dunk's in here. Dunk, I believe that's Dunk from the Discord. So if that is you from the Discord, what's up, Dunk? Yeah, and that's kind of it.
You know, I signed into the Discord the other day. Are you part of our Discord as well, Ryan?
Yeah.
I was shocked how many people are part of that Discord right now.
It goes up every other day. There's like more and more people. It's a lot of fun. Discord is primarily used for like gamers and stuff, but Discord is definitely a lot of fun. It blows up all day long. Like my phone is always going off.
Yeah, I had to take the what's it called, the notifications off my phone because it was just going non-stop. So, but I think it's brilliant. So if anybody's watching it, don't forget to get into that Discord. I think we have it in the link below. So go get in there and log into it. So which is pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool. Are they chatting amongst themselves in the room there? Oh, look, falling out my logo.
Yeah, there's only like 11 people in there. They're just kind of chatting amongst themselves right now. So Ryan, did you get a chance to watch the game today?
Yes, I did.
Well, what are your thoughts?
There's moments. Hernandez should have finished it off a couple times. There was possession for good periods of time. For preseason, though, I don't get my hopes up. I just want to see everyone healthy and everyone make it to the season. With Hammer's injury problems, or just injury problems as a whole, just in the sport, this early in July, you just hope they make it to the league. Reed last year going down. City did show they're superior right now, and I still think they will be come first.
100%.
But
100%.
Every time they had possession, West Ham showed that they were strong, and then there would be a breakaway or a counterattack that would just tear them apart. So obviously they have to work on that. But there was moments. That's the most positive thing I could say.
Yeah, I feel like going forward we looked very comfortable and we looked dangerous, even though it was a very B team Manchester City team. We did look dangerous going forward. Like, is there anybody that stood out in the game for you?
Yarmolenko, I would say he had his moments here and there. Once he came on in the second half, I believe. I don't know if he played full. I'm trying to remember. I was watching my kid at the same time. But
he wasn't playing in the first half because I only watched the first half of it, so I didn't get. He wasn't playing in the first half.
He had a couple good passes. Snodgrass came on. He did all right, in my opinion. Hernandez fell a little bit short, but I think that's just his age. I hate to say that, but other than that, nothing looked god awful, but nothing. With the counterattack they need to work on. Diop and even the rest of the defense kept getting caught out. But
yeah, what did you make of their penalty?
It was light, but in these days, if you make contact, unfortunately, I kind of miss the days. I always say, I almost complain every match. I miss the days where you'd see Vinnie Jones and Julian Dix go in, or Roy Keane and someone else, and they go in and take each other out and pat each other back and get back in the match. Nowadays,
it's sad.
Someone they fall down, it's over.
Yeah.
Do you think VAR will? Our penalty that we got it was 100% a penalty. There was no question about
And the one that we didn't get was 100% a penalty. Frederick we should have got a penalty for that Frederick's takedown.
See, I didn't see that, so I'll have to look at that. I'll have to look at that back.
It was a total penalty, absolute total penalty.
Yeah,
I'm hoping VAR changes some things, but after seeing what happened in Champions League, what happened in the Women's World Cup, what happened in the others, it just doesn't look like they know how to use replay. Like, I just feel 9 out of 10 times it's like, the handball with Man U and PSG. Maybe, but I kind of feel like it hasn't blown me away. So I'm skeptical to see what happens. Maybe I'll be wrong. But
you know what I think what I think they really need to do with it? I think they need to take a page out of the NFL's book with replay. I think they need to give each manager, each coach, 2 to 3 opportunities to say, I want to look at a replay.
I agree.
Don't let the refs say automatically it's a replay. Give the manager an opportunity to do it.
See, I disagree there. One of the things that makes football what it is the controversy. It gets people talking and stuff like that. If you introduce VAR, even though it's needed, I feel like VAR is gonna take too much time out of the game. If you give managers and coaches opportunities to continuously have like little timeouts during the game, it could kill the game completely, in my opinion.
Well, what it does do is it kills the spontaneity of the celebration. That's the one thing it definitely kills, and that's what was so ugly about the World Cup. Is like, somebody scores a goal, and now instead of you jumping up and screaming and throwing your beer everywhere and jumping all over your mates, now you're like this. Instead of you jumping up, you're like, all eyes on the ref. Is he going to go like this? that's what you have to do now instead of celebrating. So it kills the spontaneity of celebration. So in that respect, yeah, it's killing a vital part of what makes football special.
Well, also the flow of football compared to, if you watch the NFL, a lot of people that don't like the NFL say it's slow. I grew up, my dad's a diehard baseball fan. I'll admit I watch baseball a lot back here in the States. And it's like, if they, with baseball, it's slow. And I thought replay made baseball even slower. Even someone that respects the fact the game is slow, I thought it's the one thing English football has above anything else is that it flows. There's no commercial breaks. You don't have to worry about stuff. It's one of my favorite quotes is like, football is 90 minutes of anxiety. And I love that.
Yeah.
Almost. I look forward to it.
It's absolutely true as well.
Yeah.
I think it's an experiment that I think we're going to have to put up with for a while. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we didn't have it for a couple of years and then it just flows back the other way.
Yeah. I feel like it's like the golden goal rule.
Yeah.
Golden goal rule, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that has to be tried at least. It has to be tried.
Something has to be tried completely, 100%. There's a few people in the chat that they kind of agree with, I think, what I said about how if you have too many stops in the game, it could ruin it. Yeah, that's basically all there is. There's literally like 12 people in here, so there's not much chat going on about what we're talking about.
No, it's just it's just a strange state of affairs. It really is. It really is. I heard today, I mean, from a couple of buddies that Carlos Sanchez, the sooner that we put a bullet in his head and send him back to Colombia, the better. Is that true?
I mean,
go.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think he deserves a bullet in his head. I just
no, I mean, obviously, I'm being a little bit overly dramatic here, pardon the expression. So, but I heard that he was so incredibly poor that every time he came anywhere near a ball, he just screwed up.
Yes.
I haven't seen him play enough in the long run, to be honest. He was injured most of last season. Preseason, I don't hold players totally to it, you know?
Yeah.
No, I mean, preseason, really, these tournaments and stuff, it's really all about fitness. But as a professional footballer, so like, for example, Ben Johnson earlier made a couple of silly pass like decisions, but that's because like he's really young and he's still trying to like.
Yeah, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
But Sanchez was completely at fault for their third goal. The ball was received to him, and Lee. He's a big dude as well. And Leroy Sané like muscled him off the ball, slotted it through to Raheem Sterling. Sterling left Winston Reid, I believe it was, just left him, just gone, and just slotted it past the keeper. He's just. I don't think he fits in our team. To be honest, I don't even think he's any good. I think he was one of those signings that was just okay. This is.
We need somebody. Get somebody in.
Exactly. Like I don't think he's going to be there for long.
Yeah, I'd like to see him gone. From when he played down at, he played for Villa, didn't he, for a while? And when he played for Villa, I didn't think he was much cop then. So yeah, I don't see him as being somebody that we need to hang on to, especially considering the signings that we're getting now. And speaking of signings that we're getting now, how unbelievable is it that we actually get we get a striker that's capable of scoring 15 to 20 goals a season?
Hopefully.
Are we still West Ham? He'll probably get freaking rocked in the first couple of matches, right? Is that probably what's going to happen? I mean, come on. I mean, this is West Ham, right? How on earth did they convince Sullivan to spend that sort of money?
Well, I think it's the Gomez deal that fell through before. Now, I think he's better than Gomez from what I've seen, but again, I'm going to wait to see what he does.
I am shocked to death. I'm absolutely shocked to death. I'm also, do me a favor. What a way to announce it at the end of a freaking third kit exposure. I'm like, that was lame-o.
If it was a better third kit, you'd say it was great. But
yeah, if it was a better third kit, I'd say it was great. So, well, okay.
I was just going to say, I hope he's a better footballer than he is a dancer, because his moves are.
Now, poor old Declan Rice has got to be the worst dancer on the team.
Absolutely not. I disagree 100%.
You think he's good?
Oh, yeah.
Or are you speaking as another white man that can't dance?
Yeah, I've got no rhythm.
Yeah, I've got none either. I don't care. I mean, I know I enjoy dancing, but I know I'm no bloody good at it, and I'm just about as bad as Declan Rice is. So, well, do you want to see my impression of Declan Rice? Hold on. Oh my god, it's terrible. But that was such a terrible way. I mean, I missed it because I looked at the kit and went, so it's a purplish sort of like pinky looking kit, whatever. And then I just went past the tweet, and then I went up to another one. I'm like, hang on, did I just miss that we signed Haller? Hang on, was it in that thing? I missed it. Totally missed it. Totally utterly missed it.
So Ryan, realistically, how do you think Haller fits into our team? You think he'll play on his own, or you think he'll have like people close to him, like maybe another strike partner?
I honestly think West Ham will try to play him on his own, but I would love to see him with a strike partner, someone that can play to him or chip it up to him. But I don't know. Right now, I mean, the only thing I've seen is like the YouTube, the 5-minute. This is his highlights and things like that.
That's all I've seen too.
And I mean, it's not enough for me. Like, I also want to see him in the Premier League for a little bit. Like, I want to see what he can do against the Premier. I mean, not to say the Bundesliga is bad, but like, how many times have you seen someone do well in La Liga or do well in Serie A and they come to Premier League and does nothing? Like Zaza, like he was lost and then he went to Serie A and he was fine.
Exactly. It's the same with like Diego. What's his name? He played for Man United. Diego Forlan.
Yeah.
He came over to Man United. He had a decent season, but he goes. Where did he go? To Atletico Madrid, I believe.
Yeah.
And he was like
dominating.
He was smashing them in. Each player is suited to a certain type of league. And I feel like the Premier League, like it's all pace and power. So if you're either big and strong or you're really, really fast, is how the Premier League kind of goes.
Well, I'll tell you what, this guy's fast. This guy has got a lot of pace, and he's not your typical Andy Carroll type number 9 type of front man.
Well, I hope he's not, because Andy Carroll had no pace.
No, none at all. This guy's got a lot of pace.
Matches when he was healthy in his prime, he could change a match, whether that's good or bad. But like at the end, he was terrible. But I mean, you put him in the box at the end of the match, it gives you a shot. But that was a different team at the time.
Do you think he's a different striker to Andy Carroll?
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
He's got actually, since we're talking about Haller, we've got a bunch of questions in Hammer's polls this week, which actually revolve a little bit around him. So let's go on to some of our Hammer's polls. We've actually got a bit of a partnership going with Hammer's polls, us and a few other people. We read out two to three of their polls every week, and we appreciate them do those polls with us. If any of the listeners have any questions that they think would be good for Hammer's polls, please do hit them up. Throw the poll out there and tag Hammer's polls. Hammer's polls would be more than happy to put your poll up there, and you can actually hit them also on hammerspolls.com and post them over there as well. But the first one that we've got here is a question from @PrettyBubble65, and and it's kind of ties back to what you were just saying about where would you play Haller and what sort of player is he? And it's what's the best pairing with Haller going to be? Is it Hernandez, Anderson, or Antonio? What do you guys think?
You can go first if you want, Ryan.
I mean, I'd want to say Hernandez since he's the only true all-and-out striker. But I don't know. I don't see that. It'd be someone that I would say Anderson, someone that can go back and forth with him. Antonio I like, but I don't know. I would say Anderson if you gave me those three.
See, for me, Anderson, I would never play him up front, ever. If we played him up front, we would lose so much like out wide. I don't think it will be any of them. I think we still have I still think we have bids in under the radar for like a lesser. I don't think it'll be Costa or Higuain. I think it will be maybe a championship striker or somebody somebody from abroad who could come in, not necessarily as like as a starter, but to sort of to come on. But you've got the big man and little man partnership. So if anyone out of, like you said, Anderson, who was the other two? Anderson, Hernandez, and Antonio. It'd have to be Hernandez, man. Like Hernandez inside the box, despite his age and stuff, he's lethal.
Yeah, you know, I think I'd agree with you on that. As much as I like Antonio, I think Antonio would be interesting because Antonio is one of those players that he doesn't play like your typical striker, and I think he confuses defenses when he gets up there near the box because he doesn't do what you think a striker should do.
Yeah.
So I think he would be good coming in off the bench to play, but I would play Hernandez as a starter with him, and I also agree with your summation of not putting Anderson up there up top with him. I think he's better laying back off a little bit more on it and having Anderson sort of like kind of free will and do what he kind of wants to do. That's how I see it. That's
how I play. So in the chat we have Dunk says Chicha if we play 4-4-2. PSLE says Silva, so he wants to give Xander Silva a crack this year.
Didn't he just get injured? I thought I read someone today on Twitter that he may have got injured.
No, I thought he was coming back from an injury. But then again, I'm not on Twitter. I don't do Twitter, so if it's on there today, I don't know.
But no, I mean that 58% on the polls say Anderson, 31% Hernandez, and 11% Antonio.
Now, and a move like that though, like complimenting what I was saying before, if it was Anderson, he's not going to be like an all-out striker. It would be like a 4-4-1-1.
Yeah.
And maybe even putting him out, like what you're saying, like more on the wing, so he could still almost do both roles.
Yeah, I thought Anderson did a nice job today getting in behind. I really did. I thought he did a real nice job. So you know, I could see it happening.
I thought both him and Lanzini were very. They looked very sharp today.
They did. They really did. They really did. So anyway, let's go on to our next question. It's a question on Hammers polls from @Graham J Harris. Who will be? Oh, this is a good one. Who will be the first one out injured for the season? Yarmolenko, Haller, Diop, or Wilshere?
You hate to say it, but Jack Wilshere for me, I think.
History proves that.
You gonna say that?
I would say Haller just out of luck.
Touch wood. Do something right now. Touch the frame of your.
Touch the frame of your. Touch the wood of that friggin' shirt behind you. I think Yarmolenko.
I don't know. I recovered from an Achilles injury myself. I am no longer, not a pro footballer by any means, but that is it's awful to overcome that. I'm surprised he's running. I think it took me a year just to get back to running.
He even looks like a cripple. He even looks like a cripple when he's not injured.
No, and I mean he's got skills and everything like that, but he's at that age where your body starts to break down. So if Achilles goes on one, it more than likely they always tell you it could go on another, or you could redo it. It's much easier to do it at that point.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're playing the Premier League, running down the wing, it takes just the lightest knock and you're done. So.
Yeah. Did you see the game in Austria where they had and somebody pointed this out to me. See when Wilshere came off the pitch, they had a wheelchair waiting for him. It's sad. It's sad because I tell you what, he's had two beautiful games. I mean, he really is. I tell you, his passing is beautiful. I mean, he's such a strong passer of the ball, and he's got great vision. And I tell you, if we can keep him healthy. I know it's a big if. I just hope we can because he's just a bloody good footballer. He really is a good footballer.
He's phenomenal, but when's the last season he's been healthy?
Bournemouth.
Yeah, seriously. What, 3 years ago?
Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, but that season at Bournemouth, wasn't he fantastic?
Yeah, he was. He could definitely transform our attack as well. And to add to our starting 11, we have Fornals and Haller as well now. So.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. What does the room have any thoughts on this? I mean, I'm sure we're asking for no reason at all because I'm sure they're all going to say Wilshire.
So Dunk says wheelchair. Mark Taylor, hello by the way, Mark Taylor. I haven't seen you in here before, and if I have, then I'm sorry, but I'm really tired today. He says as long as it's not Fabianski. Oh,
yeah, I've not been impressed with this goalie we've got. Roberto's not impressed me at all.
I mean,
really hasn't. I just don't feel confident with him.
I wouldn't want someone that good to be a backup in the sense that I wouldn't want to like disrupt Fabianski. I know that sounds strange, but you never want like such a good backup that you question everything.
But yeah, but we had Adrian last season, and he wasn't as good as Fabianski, but he's still a quality goalkeeper. And before that, we had Adrian and Darren Randolph, and Randolph was class. I'm surprised. So when we signed Fabianski, there was actually a race. No, sorry, Joe Hart. Sorry, when we signed Joe Hart, it was a race between Randolph and Adrian to see who could get out the door the quickest. And unfortunately, it was Randolph. I would have preferred to have kept Randolph because he's a very good goalkeeper.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on Randolph. I just never felt confident with him back there. I was just a big Adrian fan. Really was. Roberto. I've not seen anything that just appeals to me. He just seems like a bit of a stupid hothead to me.
Well, didn't he misspeak and say like that West Ham have no history or something like that?
Yeah, they're an average club.
Yeah, that's a good way to come.
There's nothing special about West Ham. I think that's what he said. There's nothing special about West Ham.
So Ken in the chat here says, talking about not being impressed by Roberto, he says Nathan Trott next year, or next year for Nathan Trott.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, he's going to get a good run out at Wimbledon, and yeah, I could see it happening. I think he'd be a good backup. I do. I mean, the poll says 67% Wilshire. They think Wilshire's going to be the first one. That's not a great shock, is it? Yeah, it's not a great shock. So, and the final one here you go. Final one for Hammer's polls. How many goals will Haller get for West Ham in his first season? 5 to 10 goals, 11 to 15 goals, 16 to 20 goals, or more than 20 goals?
I'm going to say between 5 and 10. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to say 5 and 10.
Okay. How about you, Ryan?
I'll say 11 to 15. Mostly like in my opinion, like 11 or 12. I could see that. Like a slump, a comeback, and a slump again or something like that.
I think the 11 to 15. I think it'll be on the low side of it. I think on the low side, 11 to 15. And I'd be very happy with that. I'd be happy with the 12 to 14, something like that. Very, very happy.
Ken says 11 to 15. PJ says 11 to 15 also.
Yeah, that seems to be what most people are saying as well. 53% went with the 11 to 15, 27% 16 to 20, 11% 5 to 10, and 9% went 20 plus. So I think that's pretty good.
I feel like an idiot now.
Why do you feel like an idiot?
Because I went real low. I was just trying to, because if he has like a bad start to his career, we're like, oh, come on, it's fine. But yeah, there's
hold you to it. We got this on video. We're gonna
exactly
at the end of the season. We're gonna say, how many goals did you say he was gonna get? What was that? What was that, Gaz? And he scored 24 goals. He scored 24 goals this season.
Yeah, but if he's right, we all look foolish.
Yeah, seriously. Let's hope he's wrong.
Yeah, actually, that's no problem. Mark Taylor thinks 11 to 15, and then Ken says 25 the season after next, with some birthday emojis and some.
You know what? I'm happy if he's in double digits. I'm happy just because we don't have to deal with Snakovic anymore. So I'm just happy. It's just so nice not to have to worry about that, right?
Oh, I agree, 100%.
It's just wonderful not to have to deal with that. So, and I think that's it from the Hammers polls. So, are you ready for those quick fire questions, Ryan?
Sure, let's go.
Here we go. Meat pie or apple pie?
Meat pie.
Meat pie. What kind?
Steak and ale.
Steak and ale. Okay. Who is your favourite current West Ham player?
Probably Noble. Just gonna go
Okay.
steak.
Who frustrates you most as far as current West Ham players are concerned?
Mazziaco.
Okay.
Some days he's great, some days he's crap.
I hear you. FA Cup or top 6 finish? Would you prefer?
I'd take a trophy in it. I'll take the FA Cup. I'm more.
Yeah, I think everyone's going that.
Yeah.
That's 100% so far. Every single
Seriously?
person we've asked.
Every
that
single
question,
person.
Everyone has said FA Cup.
Seriously. What about West Ham do you love?
Mostly the kind of family feeling. Going to the Boston Hammers, I go to Premier League show, I go on your show, you know, anything. It kind of feels like home the second we start talking.
Yeah, I think you're right. Here you go. What about West Ham do you hate?
Usually, like, I give in to I'll read all the stupid stuff on Twitter, which I should follow Gaz's example and not do it. Just some of the pessimistic, like, oh, it's over now, and it's like, you know, November or some crap, you know, fire this guy, fire that guy. That's mostly the internet, but you know, it's the modern age, unfortunately.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. I hear you. I think some of us all fulfilled to that, definitely. What sound makes you happy?
I don't know. That's a good one. Maybe singing before the match, just cheering all in all, or the postman bringing the next shirt. One or the other.
There you go. What's your favorite curse word?
Probably the F word. I won't say it on TV since I'm a teacher.
Okay. That's
Very,
smart.
That's very
That's
smart.
very smart. And I nearly cut that one because you're a teacher, and I was like, I don't want to get him in trouble.
Oh no. I think my I coach varsity. They'll hear it once in a while, but not recorded.
I'm sure they know what your favorite curse word is.
Oh yeah, they do.
Okay. What team do you love to beat?
Maybe it's because it was a kid. I want to beat Tottenham because there are some Tottenham fans that I actually teach with. But nothing beats beating Man U. I'm sorry. It's just
I'm with you.
That's the answer I gave.
Yeah, all three of us on that one. I love it. I love beating Man U. And I've got a great Man U friend who I love to death. Gary, God bless you. I love you. But I love watching you guys die.
I think it's mostly the shock that they don't think they can lose. Even in the modern era.
And they cry when they lose.
Oh, yeah.
They make every excuse in the book. It's wonderful. Okay, let's see. Name a player, past or present day, that epitomizes West Ham United.
Obviously, we have Mark Noble, DiCenio. Thinking back to 90s, I would say Julian Dix or Martin.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, right? You could choose a ton of them. Okay, here you go. Final question. If you could take a time machine back to experience anything to do with West Ham United, where would you go?
Mostly nostalgia. I would go back to that first match and see it from an adult's eyes. Like the 95, May 14th, 1995, Man U versus West Ham. Almost like I saw it, watched it with a kid's eyes. I almost want to see it as an adult. Like, I know you can watch it on YouTube, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
see it at the time.
I get that.
Things like that.
You can also watch Ferguson on the touchline and watch his reactions to constantly being shut out and shut out and shut out. Title slowly just fading away and away and away.
Blimey. I can't imagine the game of football without Alex Ferguson around. It's funny. I know he's going to pass away eventually, but I can't imagine the game of football without him being somehow involved in it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at United now since he's left. Like, I personally am never afraid to play Man United anymore.
No.
Ever. No. I'd like to play them every week.
Yeah. I've got to honestly say that there's not a team that I'm afraid to play next year.
Man City at home, first game of the season.
Not afraid to play in them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we're going to win.
Nah.
But the nice thing is having them first. You can always say the season starts next week.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't have anything to dread after the week one.
Yeah. Well, plus the fact is we'll have a new striker. I think we'll probably get I think we'll probably get another striker in, maybe another midfielder, possibly a left. But I'm hoping a left back. I think we might be a little bit of a different kettle of fish for them. So that's what I'm hoping. And plus the fact that they just beat us 4-1, they might be a little bit cocky about it.
I also feel at one point we are going to be a West Ham before the end of the season, sign some veteran striker that's washed up, I feel, at one point. There's still the rumors about Balotelli. I hope not.
Balotelli.
Yeah.
I would take Balotelli if I'm honest.
I don't know. I kind of feel it would just be a repeat of the previous billion guys we've signed. I mean, I would like him now, but I've said that about, 4 or 5 guys we've already picked up in the last 10 years. I think he was great with so-and-so, and he shows up, scores maybe 3 or 4 goals, another Robbie Keane or someone like that. It's great, but not for us.
Yeah, Robbie Keane was a real disappointment, wasn't he? I was really pissed off when he came here. I was so aggravated that when he finally came over and started playing in the United States and he was playing at the stadium down the road, I got so nastily stuck into him when he came to FC Dallas. I was calling him friggin' every name under the sun. Every name. I've never laid into a player as much as I laid into him. Except maybe. Really?
Yeah, I feel he did it for LA Galaxy. He even scored 2 or 3 goals in like the 6 appearances for Villa on loan.
Yep.
Scored 2 for us in a half a season.
Yeah, nothing. He did nothing for us, did he?
No, we went down that year.
He took a paycheck and did nothing. Did nothing at all. Well, I think that's about it. We're a bit of a wrap right now. So you got anybody you want to do any shout outs to at all, Ryan?
I would just say the Boston Hammers, Dave, Paul, I guess my family, my kid who's sleeping, hopefully still upstairs.
You hope he is, right?
Oh, yeah.
So let me just check and see who we've got on this time tomorrow. Real quick here. Have you got anybody you want to do a shout out to at all, Gaz?
No, not really.
Oh, come on. There's got to be somebody. Come on. I'm playing for time here while I bring the old thing up.
All right, I'll do one. All right. Hi, babe. I hope you're having a great time at work. I love you and I miss you, and I'll see you in a couple of hours.
Oh, that is too sweet. That's too sweet. You can do a shout out to Scott and say, Scott, didn't you realize that we do a show on a Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern time? You plonker. Well, we're going to do a shout out for drinkwaredesign.com. They did a fantastic job, obviously, of our cups. We couldn't do anything without them. Another big shout out to our sponsor, Strava Craft Coffee. That's like a tongue twister. Strava Craft Coffee, who are absolutely awesome. Do go and check out the link at the bottom of the page here so that you can get yourself some cheapo, fantastic tasting coffee. And I'm still trying to pull up the schedule to find out exactly who's on tomorrow night. Tim will be hosting the show tomorrow night, along with, I believe he has a special guest host tomorrow night. I'm not quite too sure who it is, but I know that Lee's actually on vacation for a couple of weeks. So he had to pull somebody in to take his spot tomorrow. And of course, I can't bring up the actual sheet to find out who's actually on the show tomorrow. I want to say it's San Diego tomorrow for some reason, but I can't quite remember for the life of me whether it is or whether it isn't. So let's see if I can bring it up. Here we go. Coming up in 3, 2, and 1. And actually, no, it's Nick from My High Hammers. So he'll be on the show tomorrow night. I think it's Nick and Gina, actually, that are on the show tomorrow night for My High Hammers. And, of course, on Sunday, we've got the West Ham United Iron Times that are going to be on the show for the 2 p.m. show. And in the evening, we've got Minneapolis Hammers that are going to be on, which will be kind of cool. So we've got a pretty full week. Gentlemen, cheers to you all. Here's to the Dead Rabbit whiskey. I enjoy that very much. And nothing left to say other than, come on, you Irons!
He can't really do it. He can't really do it because he's got his phone in his hand.
He can't do it. We'll do it for Ryan. Thanks for joining us, Ryan. You did a great job, mate.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thanks for everybody. Cheers, lads.